Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for watching our presentation. Today we'll be talking about behavior management in a preschool setting. The group members are Jessica Hewer, Nicole Brown, and Emily Wilkinson. Welcome to your training video. We have 3 consultants in this group. Jessica is an ABA student at Ball State University who works as an RBT in home, school, and CILA settings, and she designed the ABA guideline, which you'll look at later. Nicole Brown, also an ABA student at Ball State University, works in New Mexico and designed the implementation plan. My name is Emily Wilkinson. I am also an ABA student at Ball State University. I currently work as an RBT, and I work solely in a pre-K classroom, and I'll be guiding you through this video. Let's start off by just saying that everyone that's watching this video is a very important part of the team. Parents, teachers, and volunteers are absolutely crucial in helping school run smoothly, and therefore, y'all are a huge part of shaping our children's lives. Thank you so much for taking time to take part in this training. After analyzing the situation at Ellison School, our team believes that the 2 main issues are fighting during playtime and tantrums. The fighting often occurs when children are fighting over toys. Tantrums occur for different reasons, but they may include flopping and screaming and are often the result of an inability to communicate. This picture shows an example of tantrum behavior. The child may flop to the floor, scream, cry. In extreme situations, they can also throw things or become violent towards themselves or others, such as biting, pinching, or kicking. So what can we do to prevent these 2 problem behaviors, tantrums and fights? Our team believes that we can make centers more organized, give the nonverbal students a way to communicate, and also reward positive behaviors. The first thing that we plan to implement is a picture exchange communication system, which is often referred to as PECS. PECS can be used by nonverbal students to express their wants and needs. In this system, pictures are used to represent common items and are used to communicate. So the child can point to a picture and point what they want to instead of saying it if they're unable to speak. Now I'll show you a video. This is actually in a home setting, but it's a good example of how PECS work. As you could see in the video, the woman presented a picture of a cucumber, the boy pointed to it, and then he got the cucumber. He was able to pick out of a multitude of pictures and pick the food he wanted. And that's just an example of how PECS can work. So in our situation, we'll have pictures of the centers that the children play in, as well as common toys, and a symbol representing needs such as potty breaks and possibly snacks or water. This will allow students to point to what they need, and it will really facilitate communication for students with adults and each other. We really believe this system will cause a decrease in the tantruming behavior because oftentimes a child tantrums when they're not able to express their needs. The second program that we plan to implement is called Class Dojo. This is an app which is really great because it can be used on tablets and on smartphones, and it can be used by teachers and parents. So if a parent's at home and wants to see how many points their child is earning, then they can check it from home. Our students will earn points for good behavior. For example, sitting quietly during center time and playing nicely with toys, as opposed to students who may be engaging in problem behaviors will not earn these points. Each student is assigned an avatar, and teachers will update their behavior data daily. For this system, we will only add points for good behavior. That's a really important point. Points will never be taken away. Taking away points can be upsetting and confusing for both students and parents. Research has shown that the system is just as effective if only positive points are earned. Here's a quote about Class Dojo, which I'll read to you now, from a principal at an elementary school in Chicago. With this tool, teachers are able to print graphs of students' data throughout the school year. Percentages of negative and positive points are shown. This helps teachers with creation of behavior plans and to create interventions for students. Class Dojo also has an online toolkit that includes a timer. Teachers can generate random groups, directions can be displayed on the screen, a music tool, and questions to display for students to discuss. Another tool on Class Dojo is the noise maker. You do need a microphone connected to a computer for this part. With this tool being board, and it shows the student's voice level. This is a great visual for our students to see that we are being too loud, and you can show them what voice level they should be at. So that really just shows how versatile and useful that this app can be. This is a sample report of a Class Dojo report with different target behaviors. And as you can see, it's divided even by what subject the student is in. So in social sciences, working hard, lunch and recess, great job. They did great being kind. They were calm in the classroom. So that's a really great way to divide it up and show what the great areas might be and what the problem areas might be. Another implementation that we are going to do is put the stations into very organized different areas that the students enter into with a ticket, and only 4 students can be in a station at each time. These will be created by natural boundaries such as placement of furniture and other items in the classroom, just to make sure that the flow of the stations works and there's no overlap and not too many students in one area. The volunteers and teacher will do a great job and be very helpful in making sure that students stay in their assigned station. The stations will be arts and crafts, blocks, pretend and dress up, books, dolls and cars, and a kitchen. And we believe that just the organization of the centers, as opposed to allowing the students to roam freely from center to center, will definitely make the center time more organized and functional. Another thing we're going to implement is a class contingency. Although this term sounds complicated, you've probably seen it, and you might have even had it when you were a kid in school. I know I did. It's a tool for monitoring individual students' performance for the day, but since it's a group contingency, it's very reinforcing for everyone to be on their best behavior. The different levels indicate different behaviors. In the picture shown, there's 4 levels: great choices, ready to learn, warning, and parent contact. The students are represented by a clothespin or other item which you may choose. Some people use Velcro and stickers, which is moved according to their behavior. This is a board that we created as a sample. This only has 3 levels, and that works just as well. It's really up to you and what you think will work best for you and your students. An important part of class contingency is that the students are able to understand it. So for very young students, it might be best to have only 3 contingencies. In this sample, the blue means great day, and that means someone followed all the rules that day. Green means ready to learn, and it's at the center of the board. This is an average student. They may have a few behavioral problems, but typically following the rules. Orange is called think about it, and that's the student that needs to make better choices and has engaged in problem behavior throughout the day. This is a finished example of the class contingency, and the final part of the class contingency is that at the end of the day, students who are on blue will get to add 3 puffballs into a jar. Students on green will add 2, and when the students on orange will only get to add 1. When the jar is full, the class gets a prize that is previously decided on by the teacher. Common prizes include getting to pick from a treasure chest, small items, candy, or excess extra recess time. And now I'll show a small video about how the contingency board works. Unfortunately, the video is not loading. That was a student interview about the contingency board, and it really just, the main point of that video was that it's a really fun way for students to monitor their behavior, and they're very excited to move their clothespin to the top and work as a team and earn those points for the end of the day. I'm sorry that video did not work. But that video was really included to show that the students are very excited, usually, about the class contingency board. Now we'll give you a chance to make your own contingency board. We've provided materials in this room. You'll see them on your tables: poster board, construction paper, scissors, stickers, whatever you might need. We're here to help, and we'll have some examples if you aren't sure where to start. So at this time, take 20 to 30 minutes. Feel free to work with each other and just think about the theme of your classroom and what you think your students would enjoy. Thank you, everyone, for making great contingency boards. They all look so, so awesome. We're really glad that you got to do that during this meeting. We just wanted to let you know that we will hold continuing education classes 4 times throughout the year, and we'll definitely be receiving your feedback, and we can update materials and update the plan as you see fit, because what is most important to us is that this is something that is manageable and helpful for you and your classroom. So if you have a problem with the picture exchange and you want different pictures, that's definitely something we can talk about in another meeting, and you can also let us know as those problems arise. Thank you so much, parents, teachers, and volunteers, for your time. This absolutely would not be possible without you, and we're so glad that we have so many people to help us with this project. Finally, a quote: "While we try to teach our children all about life, they teach us what life is all about." So just remember, if you're struggling to implement the plan or it doesn't seem to be working, it's just important that we all learn and work together as a team and keep our children forefront in our minds. Thank you so much.